Let's get this set up squared away. First time doing this. Okay, I think we're good. Yep. All right, welcome to the Commute, episode 1. This is literally, I'm driving to work and I'm bored, so we're gonna talk about life in the world. So today, first things first, for those who do not know, I'm an American, if you can't tell from my accent. The Iran war is a pretty big deal for us, for those who are American like I. They have not had Iran in America has not fired a shot in about 2 days. So they're calling it like an impromptu ceasefire. We'll see how far that goes. Few things on the war. I don't really care what side you lean on. I don't really see where we're going. I don't see where this gets us anywhere further in the future. I understand the argument of one, oil, right? Nuclear weapons. There's the whole debate going on in modern politics about, was the nuclear threat imminent? What does imminent mean? Okay, we don't got to have that discussion on here yet. Because nobody really knows, right? Because imminent, you could argue, some people say 6 months, some people say 6 weeks, some people say 6 years is too close. I personally, nuclear weapon is a nuclear weapon. Lots of countries have them. Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. But I don't think going in and bombing them to hell was the way to go. And unfortunately for Trump, I think he fell into the trap of thinking he could bomb his way out of the situation, where now we're going to probably have to get boots on the ground. And as somebody who has family in the military, I don't want that, but that is something that the only way that that's going to work out would be if we somehow take over and make a regime change, but that involves a long-term, long-scale war. And I don't think the world wants that. At least America doesn't want that. So, that being said, the Iran war, we're in this weird pause ceasefire thing, but it's not an official ceasefire. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if they start back up pretty soon, just with the way they're kind of been talking. Thing number 2 is we'll talk about the markets a little bit before we move on further. The markets right now, obviously oil is up, right? So that's going to impact a lot of things. The more that I've gotten involved in the stock market, the more you realize 2 things. One, which is kind of funny to think about, if you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, there's that quote of like, it's a Fadazi, it's a Fadazi, right? There's that whole thing. It really is. You do realize it's all based off of confidence and stability. That's what the economy is. You kind of realize as you learn, you get a little bit more into the economics of how the world works. Stock market, the dollar, it is all on how confident are we as a nation and us as people to use the dollar to get goods we want. If you just basically never use the dollar, if everybody decided we're not using the dollar, we're only going to trade. We're only going to trade. You get goat, I get a chicken, or you give me that PS5, I'm going to give you X hours of work. Well, that's basically what we do, right? But like X hours of work. Or you give me the PS5, I'm going to give you 6 months of home-cooked meals, right? That's basically how the economy works. We've just now tied it to a paperback. So it's all based off of confidence in that sense. But that's kind of getting off topic, getting a little bit rambly there. But long story short, the futures are up, right? So the people are looking forward because this week we have multiple bigger companies are doing their earnings. Oil is up, so currently, like this right now, they're all kind of down because energy controls everything, right? Shipping, logistics, flying, right? Everything you do that involves any sort of travel is all energy related, which brings me to a topic which I find fascinating. Other people might not find it as fascinating. Is nuclear energy. I don't know if people realize this, and I didn't realize this until I spoke actually to one of my nurse friends. You do realize we have nuclear energy, right? You do realize that we are already at the point in time where there are certain, like an MRI machine, it never turns off. We already have nuclear energy. Now, we don't have it at scale, right? We don't have it at scale yet. So that's where the issue becomes. We need to get our electric grids modernized so that we are not so reliant on oil, this, that, and the other. We need to move forward. Because I feel like the first country to actually get to the point where they have the modernized energy source, that's where they're going to be. That's when we're all going to be. That's who wins the race, right? Everybody talks about the space race back in the day between Russia and America. People are saying the AI race. I don't necessarily think we're in an AI race. Okay, and I appreciate you guys all joining in. I see people. This is a driving show, so I can't spend all the time. I'll turn on voice activation next time so I can hear your stuff, but I appreciate the love and support. But like I said, this is just a daily talk show, basically as a way for me to talk and kind of go through modern day politics, how the world's doing, this, that, and the other on my commute to work, because I'm bored, and I know that half of us who commute to work get bored. You can listen to the radio, maybe you enjoy this and kind of hop in on this every day. Back to what I was saying though. So the AI race, I don't think we're in an AI race in the sense of who's going to have the best chat GPT, right? So one other thing, and I don't know if anybody's thought about it this way, and I could be wrong, right? This is all opinionated. This is all backed up with some evidence, but by no means is this a news broadcast. I'm not here to tell you this is how it is, because half of the things we've learned is that the news is full of nonsense anyway, right? Half the stuff they say is wrong, or it's all biased. I'm trying to be as unbiased and just openly talk about my thoughts to make you think. Whichever company ties themselves to the government is who's going to win. Because what's going to happen? Think about it, right? So let's play this out long term and long form, right? OpenAI. They created ChatGPT. It became this huge thing commercially. Oh my gosh, everybody has this chatbot. So now every company has a chatbot. If you don't have a website with a chatbot, you're behind however many years at this point, right? But now let's take that to another level, okay? Now there's Claude. So I'm in IT. Don't know if anybody else is in IT who's watching this. So like everybody's on this AI thing. Claude, this, that, and the other. It can code. It's going to take entry-level jobs, blah, 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 blah. Fear-monger. Is that true? Yes, it can automate certain things. It cannot fully replace jobs yet, because the biggest issue that they have with fully replacing a job is it doesn't know the intricacies enough to be able to look forward and see into the future, right? So if you're building a website, like I said, without getting too technical, if you're building a website and you know this website needs to be secure, it may leave a port open because technically you need X port open to allow communication between your internal systems. But if somebody who's on the outside actually realizes this and they say, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to attack that port, because the AI is not thinking of, well, how to optimize security and prepare for future events, it will leave that port open for any reason other than just, how do I say that? To optimize the system, not to necessarily secure the system. So whoever is the company, right? Whoever's the company that actually ties themselves to the government, let me fix that. There you go. Ties themselves to the government and is subsidized by the government is going to win, because they're not going to rely on commercial, right? Commercial is nice. Oh, you guys a little taller now. Is nice and such, but it's too expensive. It's too expensive. I don't know if anybody follows anything, but there's been mass layoffs with companies, right? Technology companies, AI companies, and the other. Because what they're realizing is, okay, if I have to pay $75,000 in tokens to do what I need to do, or I can pay my engineers $75,000 a year, because the tokens, you have to keep doing stuff, right? You don't get to just kind of do it once or twice and then be done. You have to continuously use these tokens. Right, so that's one of the biggest things with AI. Whichever company ties themselves to the government and allows the government to basically say, hey, you can't sell this overseas, you can't sell this to foreigners, it's got to stay in America. We're basically going to fund the Department of War, whatever you want to call it, Department of Defense, Department of State, whatever that AI company is, who's able to get that contract, which is what OpenAI tried to do. They tried to get in nice with the government, and the government was like, we're not a big fan of that. This thing keeps falling. Okay, my thing's going to fall down. So technical issues on the first episode. You guys are about to fall. I apologize. I'll probably pick this back up because you guys are about to all fall over. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to my little like TED Talk. Yeah, you guys are stuck. My little TED Talk. I will have more episodes coming in the future. Like I said, it's gonna be a daily thing, so we're gonna talk about similar stuff, different stuff. You guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you guys all drive safe. I'll have this fixed out for the next one. Everybody enjoy your day.